Coach, I guess just obviously kind of a quick turnaround after they scored the first goal, but did you hear anything vocally from anyone either on the field or on the bench during that short period?
No, I mean, the guys were positive with one another, and I mean, we said at halftime we were creating the chances it was coming. So, I mean, that's actually really good that happened because it shows this group had a little like, no, not tonight, and we need a little bit more of that with this group at times. So, I love that. Versus if we would have conceded and maybe we won 3-0, or I don't know if we had the same. I think they're pretty excited about the way they responded. So that's a good thing.
I wrote on Twitter that after Northwestern scored, they poked the bear and it made you stronger, and it got a big response on Twitter, more than I usually get. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but do you feel they poked the bear by scoring? By scoring?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, when you're the team that's in control and you're might be a little upset. So yeah, it might have poked the bear a little bit. I can't speak for our guys. The response was good, so I was excited about that.
Do you ever have any concerns this match with Butler? Obviously a positive response, but conceding very quick out of the halftime interval.
Yeah, that was, now that you say that, both were uniquely different. So if it was a trend of something we were doing, maybe. But in this case, no, I think it's more coincidental. Hopefully we don't have to have that question again. But if it becomes a trend, we'll talk about it. But no, I think it was, the play, they did a good job of pressing that moment. I thought BB gave Malone a tough ball, and it kind of led to that breakdown. But I think the message would be, let's play in their half, like the first couple minutes, and not concede anything. So kind of lesson learned from that end.
4 goals tonight. Obviously, the win's big itself, but after kind of struggling against Michigan State and Ohio State to bury those chances, just how important was it to see all those goals go in tonight, just for confidence at least? Really good
to get some of our key attackers. You need to see the back of the net. You need that. I think Carson's goal was really important for him. He had a nice night tonight overall, and Herb, Witz, all of them were good in different ways, and those guys need to be putting some points up. So yeah, I think we have good balance. I mean, Austin was telling me I think we have 10 different goals scored. That's great, but you also want your 4 or 5 to start to separate a little bit and know that we can get a restart. We can get some other guys scoring. It was great to see Q get a goal. His composure was excellent. He had a fantastic match again tonight, and what he's bringing. So we're improving as a group, and we're individually. We're also getting some better performance, and that's what I'm pleased about.
In that left back spot, Lawson starting the match, it looked like he came off a bit of an injury. Then you had Nick and Brett also kind of operating in that spot. When you're kind of looking at guys who can offer threats in that position, the left back spot, when you kind of balance them up, what strengths and weaknesses do you see with those guys? Yeah,
BB's played there. We know Nick can go either side and be effective. It really came down to where I thought their threat was at that point with the lead. And Nick, I thought, was in the best place to handle Kamyabi, who was very dangerous out there. And so that's why I made the switch. BB's was not off, but I thought just Nick was really on point tonight on both sides of the ball. So that's why we made the switch. And I also want to get Patty there a little bit because that's one of our other kind of rotations with the back line. Domino, he's played there a little bit, and he could do the job well. And obviously Jansen did a really nice job in the middle, which allowed us to move BB. So yeah, we're a couple guys down in the back right now, and what's good news is that some of the performances have been excellent. I thought BB has stepped in really, really well, as Jansen has in both of their different scenarios, and that's really good to see, knowing that Muni's just right on the cusp of getting back. So that will make us stronger moving forward.
In the first half, you had a lot of good chance you didn't score. Other than them scoring quickly, was there any halftime adjustments you made to get all the flurry in the second half?
No, we kept talking about being a little bit better with our layers in the attack. We also spoke about being a little more aggressive around the corner, the edges as we call it, because we were jamming a little bit in the last part of the first half, and it also finishes from distance. It's the more the night gets dewy, we like the sniffers, and I love that Carson got one. So those count for 2 in our book. But yeah, those are some of the key takeaways. We dropped Q a line also to give us a little bit more long distance distribution, and he's also one of our best restart takers. So able to give Ben a little blow, bring him in lighter, but it gave us a little bit more threat on some attacking moments because of his educated left foot.
Herb was really good tonight, getting into the channels and kind of initiating the attack. It feels like he's, this season he's kind of been on and off a little bit. Just what do you have to do to get him going? Because obviously you see how effective he can be.
I mean, Herb's, he is one of those. It's hard to always know exactly what gets the Herb going, and I say that not in a bad way. He's just so calm and composed that you don't always know where he's at, because he could have a great game and he looks the same, kind of the way he's responding, or not a great game and he looks as though he's in that same state of Herb. He's been playing well. Only a couple games this year I thought he's been a little off, but he's just a threat, and he's becoming a smarter player with his off the ball movement. His combination play is improving. His ability to communicate and move players is improving. Still not where we want it to be, but it's getting better. So, and teams just absolutely fear him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an unbalancing effect that you just put fear into the team, and they'll overplay things, overshift, and it opens up more.
I felt like Witt was on the cusp of a goal almost the entire match, then got it late. Can you talk about his performance?
Yeah, ironically, he's one of our most composed finishers. I think on another night, he has 2 in that first half, and the game is well on its way to being over. If you gave me those same chances with a couple other guys, I would say, okay, but Witt's, those are uncharacteristic. I wouldn't say misses, but 2 of them I thought he normally would bury. But he stayed really composed and didn't get rattled. That's where a 5th year comes in. If that's a younger Witt who maybe hasn't had big goals for us the last couple of years, he might have been rattled and may not have kind of recovered, but he stayed really focused, and I thought he was good all game. We pushed him his minutes a little bit heavier. That's intentional this part of the season. And I didn't take him out because he was tired. It was more just to get some other guys in the game.
For Carson, I had to wait a little bit to get his first goal for you guys. What have been some of his mentality building up to this? And I guess, how do you see the goal impacting you going forward?
Well, it's important he gets a goal for him, and he's been really, really good and been really mature in the role that he's been given right now, coming off the bench for such a high-profile player coming in. And he understands. Some of his performances weren't up to what he or the program needs, and we have good options. So we don't have to kind of just stick him out there and hopefully he plays out of it. And that's why he came here. That's one of the things he said. He wanted to be, challenged in different ways. We play very different than what he was used to. He's learning that. And I just seen these steady strides. And, I think tonight was kind of the accumulation of everything looking a lot more like, okay, here we go. And he just gives us a physical presence. I thought his hold-up play was really good, and we need that element with our attacking rotation. And I thought his passing, his movement was good. It was a good night for Carson.
Group kind of kept that energy up in that final quarter hour. What do you think you saw from the team in that final quarter hour, and how do you think getting back to playing that full 90 minutes will help you guys on a road match?
What was the first part of it? I missed the...
Just the energy in the final quarter hour. How do you
Okay.
think that, and getting back to playing a full 90 will benefit you on the road against Michigan after that Ohio State, kind of?
Yeah, I thought it was good. We were able to get some guys, rested at the end. I thought it was a really overall good performance. Only about 10 minutes, I thought. We got a little bit casual in the back with some building moments that we could have maybe. Again, the fine line. I think this group's doing better at taking care of the lead and not getting a little impatient or trying to go into the other half and losing possession unnecessarily. They got to find that balance, and they were right on the edge tonight. Maybe playing a little bit more direct at times for territory, because if you do get turned over and they get a chance, that's just the psychological element. They feel like they're back kind of in the game when it was still maybe a 1-goal lead. But yeah, I like where our group is going to Michigan. I mean, they're a really good team, much better than their record based on what I've seen, as was this team. This is a dangerous team tonight. And, for them to have, I think, 1 win in the year is a bit surprising based on what we saw tonight.
Anything else for Coach?
I guess looking ahead to Michigan, they lost 2-0 today to Michigan State. Not sure if you knew about that, but I guess what are your thoughts on that result and what that might mean for Michigan going into Sunday's match?
I saw a little bit of it up in the office before, and State had a great early goal, and those you kind of have to throw out everything with that rivalry game. But I thought it was a good back and forth. Michigan had some good periods. The part I watched, and the other games I've seen, I know they had Maryland kind of on the ropes in the first half in their matchup. They're a good side. It's gonna be a tough match, and they're very good at home. And but I think our guys they're confident. Another good opportunity to get on national TV and have a good performance.
Anything else for Coach?
More goals scored tonight than any match this season. How does that sort of impact team confidence after a Michigan State match where there were some missed opportunities?
Really good, and I think most important, we got some games like the Portland game, which that game really still is bothersome. To let that one slide, the 3, those are games you can't leave points on the board. So goals were great, but also not giving up. The one was a great finish, and you kind of have to tip your hat sometimes. A great finish. So to leave the game, leaving that opportunity for them, and everything else was fairly routine saves. I thought they had a couple dangerous moments, but they got some good individual players. I mean, that's a pretty dynamic attacking team, and yet I thought we handled them pretty well.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks.